Hello, my name is Amanda Vallejo, and I chose HIV and AIDS as the topic for my research project. HIV is transmitted by the direct transfer of bodily fluids such as blood and blood products, semen, and other genital secretions, or breast milk from an infected person to an uninfected person. The leading cause of transmission is still through male-to-male sexual relationships, at 61% of new cases attributed to this. HIV cannot spread by coughing, sneezing, or casual contact. HIV is fragile and cannot survive long outside of the body. Antiretroviral therapy can be used to reduce the transfer from mother to fetus around the time of birth and between an infected person and uninfected person in sexual relationships. The signs and symptoms of HIV and AIDS vary on the stage of infection. Early HIV symptoms usually occur within a couple of weeks to a month or two after infection and are often likely a bad case of the flu. In many people, early HIV signs and symptoms include fever, headache, fatigue, swollen lymph glands, rash, sore joints or muscles, and sore throat. During this period, you are very infectious. When AIDS occurs, your immune system has been severely damaged. You'll be more likely to develop opportunistic infections and opportunistic cancers, diseases that wouldn't usually cause illness in a healthy person. The signs and symptoms of some of the infections may include sweats, chills, recurring fever, chronic diarrhea, swollen lymph glands, persistent white spots or unusual lesions on the tongue or in your mouth, persistent unexplained fatigue, weakness, weight loss, and skin rashes or bumps. The life cycle of HIV. HIV first has to bind itself to receptors on the surface of the CD4 cell. Then the HIV envelope and the CD4 cell membrane fuse, which allows HIV to enter the CD4 cell. Inside the cell, HIV releases and uses reverse transcriptase, an HIV enzyme, to convert its genetic HIV RNA into HIV DNA. The conversion of HIV RNA to HIV DNA allows the HIV to enter the CD4 cell nucleus and combine with the cell's genetic material, cell DNA. Once integrated in the CD4 cell DNA, HIV begins to use the machinery of the CD4 to make long chains of HIV proteins. The proteins are building blocks for more HIV. The new HIV proteins and HIV RNA move to the surface of the cell and assemble into immature, non-infectious HIV. Newly formed, immature, non-infectious HIV pushes itself out of the CD4 host cell. The new HIV releases protease, an HIV enzyme. Protease breaks up the long chain in the immature virus, creating the mature infectious virus. In 1983, virologist Luc Montagnier, Francois Barré-Sinoussi, and a group of researchers isolated the retrovirus and provided clear evidence for heterosexual transmission of the causative agent HIV. More detailed characterization was needed to confirm the connection, so Montagnier and Sinoussi sent samples to Robert C. Gallo, an American virologist. Gallo helped establish that HIV causes AIDS, but more importantly, he developed a blood test for the detection of AIDS. There was much controversy over who deserved credit for the discovery of AIDS, Montagnier or Barré-Sinoussi. The United States and France went back and forth for years over who deserved the royalties for the discovery, but finally settled out of court. Montagnier and Barré-Sinoussi came to an agreement with Gallo and published their findings together. In 2008, Montagnier and Sinoussi received the Nobel Peace Prize for their discovery of AIDS. Thanks to advances in antiretroviral therapy, the medicine used to treat HIV, individuals with HIV who take their medicine as prescribed and as a result maintain an undetectable viral load can live long, healthy lives and have effectively no risk of sexually transmitting HIV to a partner. We have proven models of effective HIV care and prevention based on more than 2 decades of experience engaging and retaining patients in effective care. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, a daily regimen of 2 antiretroviral drugs in a single pill, has proven to be highly effective in preventing HIV infection for individuals at high risk, reducing the risk of acquiring HIV by up to 97%. After a long time of taking the antiretroviral drugs, an infected person HIV viral load can eventually become undetectable, which means the virus cannot be transmitted by sexual contact. This phenomenon is referred to as undetectable, untransmittable, or U equals U. Today, AIDS is fairly well controlled in developed countries anyway, but the virus, which actually has been infecting humans since the late 1950s, according to the AIDS Institute, is still very much around. Statistics compiled from a variety of sources by AmFAIR, the Foundation for AIDS Research, paint an important picture of how AIDS and HIV's global and U.S. reach, showing where progress has been made as well as where infections continue to rise. Global HIV and AIDS statistics and FAIR statistics are from 2017, its most fully recent compiled data. It shows that in 2017, worldwide, 36.9 million people were living with HIV. 1.8 million people became newly infected with HIV. Since the beginning of the pandemic in 1981, 77.3 million people have contracted HIV, and 35.4 million have died from AIDS-related illnesses. The good news is that there is a new decline by 18% since 2010.